Hey there, how's it going, you guys?
Hello.
Been a while again.
Paddles Up Sunday.
Yep, Paddles Up Sunday with John and Amy. So hey, we just wanted to
jump on and really just share what's happening a little bit and bring some encouragement and some hope to some peeps during this season. It's been interesting to say the least.
Yeah, a massive shift internally. We're always looking for a big shift on the outside. We don't want to look at the big shift going on in the inside, do we? And boy, oh boy, God has just pulled the curtains on that for so many of us. And some of us are just like, no, and wanting to just do life as usual or not go there and look at things or even be with things. And how you even, like John and I just started doing a juice feast the last couple days, and it's just amazing. Every time we do a fast or whatever, just for our own health, it's just, you realize how many things you push down with food, right? That you don't want to, how many times we reach for it to push down the pain or to cope. And I'm like, wow, I just start seeing all these things, and it's just like, okay, Lord, let's sit with this, let's sit with that, let's, and I don't know about you guys, but the last few days, it has literally felt like this shift that's taking place internally felt like a tornado came and went right over me and pulled me up into it and sifted all this stuff out and then upgraded me on another level. But when you're in it, it feels like impending death, doesn't it? Like a tornado, and it just completely disintegrates a house and all that's left is the foundation. And I don't know, I mean, message us on here, guys, if that's what you've been feeling like too, where it's it is such a fast shift and a fast just dismantling, and then all of a sudden, boom, if you can make it through it right and just keep breathing. And that's why we want to talk about one of the biggest tips that are really helping is this whole relax and release, because the only thing you can do is surrender into it. It's kind of like when you fight against a rip current, and if you don't surrender into that and let it take you up and out, it's going to hold you down in there. And so that resistance, I think that's probably the number one thing God is really bringing our awareness to, is just how many things we are subconsciously in resistance to, not even realizing it. And so when you go through some of this stuff where it's like this tornado, this whips you around and, removes everything and upgrades your whole frequency level on a new plane. And not only at that, you're having to find yourself in a whole new frequency. You're having to learn how to breathe, talk, think, feel at a whole new frequency, aren't you? I mean, when this stuff happens. And so again, you have to just keep surrendering and being okay with not knowing, allowing yourself to go through the process, right?
Yeah, so really good stuff. Just if you feel like, and let us know, comment if you're feeling like these surges, these plummets, or these surges, or these spirals going on inside of you. It's an energy upgrade. It is an expansion that's going on in you spiritually. And so I like the analogy, and I don't know why, but I keep seeing this cinnamon roll in a spiral. See, because the wisdom of God, the spiritual realities of God are cyclical. So they're more of an expansion circle rather than linear, or rather than pyramidal, stacking on top of each other. It's always expansion. So when you look at your life, don't look at it like you've taken a step backwards just because you blew it, or because you had a plummet, because you went into this depression or this dark area for a couple of days.
Part of the process.
Or you just blew it and went off on somebody. What's happening is there's an upgrade going on, and it's really dismantling the whole egoic structure of our lives. And so with the cinnamon roll, it's everybody wants to go to the ooey gooey middle, and we want the good stuff. We want the middle.
Stay there like a blanket.
But the outer core, remember, it's still edible. It's still shareable. It's still part of the cinnamon roll. So when the layers are coming off your life, just know that they've done the good that they have. See, a lot of people want to bash and destroy and try to kill off the ego. We say we need to heal it and integrate it into the spirit realm of things because it's kept us alive to this point, really. I mean, our spirit keeps us alive, but you know what I'm saying. It's kept us in this situation where fight, flight, and freeze has really egoically brought us to this point. Now it's time for the authenticity of spirit to completely take over.
Yeah.
And what that means for some, it's very uncomfortable, very, very uncomfortable, because you feel like you've blown it, you've missed it, or you can't add up, or who am I? You know, those kind of things all start coming up within you. But just know that those are the layers of the cinnamon roll that are coming off so that we can get to the middle, the core, the ooey gooey you that has something really amazing to reveal and unveil to the world in this time. So we're going to be sharing a lot about authenticity in 2024 because for us, spiritually speaking, and for many, it's the year of authenticity. And for many different reasons, for many different levels, you know this. And so this is why you've been yearning to be the real you, but you've been hitting ceilings, the outer layers of your cinnamon roll, but then also the ceilings of the egoic paradigms of the people that you're around.
Yeah, and it's the false identities we've had that have been placed on us from our upbringings that we thought was us. All these subconscious patterns, all these hamster wheels we've been running, and we're getting pulled off of them, and it feels so unfamiliar. Yet your spirit's loving it, but your flesh is still attached. You're attached to the habits. You're attached to the people. You're attached to the staying in the maintenance mode, you know, where you just drives your car while you're thinking about something else, you know, all these things that are so familiar and quote comfortable to us when they're really not comfortable, because then we have to have all these other coping mechanisms to stay in
addictions,
you know. And so, but you've been called for such a time as this, right? We were chosen and chose to come at this time because it's one of the most powerful times of upgrades you can possibly have by coming in the earth. And so
it is.
You're more powerful than you realize. That's why the call is coming out to your being for the upgrade, because you agreed to this. And it's like trying to get Clark Kent to remember, hey, wait a minute, you chose to be Superman and come into this place. Don't forget your powers. Yeah. Don't forget where you came from. You're not of this world, but you're in this world.
Even though you feel like your suit's been stripped and tattered and torn
yeah,
and
been
shredded.
A long time since I've seen that suit. It's been in the closet.
Some of y'all feel like your Superman cape has been shredded to pieces.
Or your Wonder
But that's just
Woman.
the outer layers of the egoic realm that has got you to this point. And so think about this with institutions, guys. Think about this in the workplace. Think about this in religion as a whole. These are layers of structures that man has built upon a paradigm. Okay, so whatever that institutional thing may be, and trust me, you know this, in the Western world, everything's built upon these systems and institutions for man to feel protected and safe. But they're an illusion, because when they begin to dissipate and disintegrate and dissolve, what happens is you have nothing but the nakedness of what's left. And so a lot of people don't know what to do when they're in this realm. It's almost like the guy in the spacesuit that's out in space with nothing to grasp a hold of, nothing to grab a hold on. There's no planets, there's no space station, there's nothing, and you feel like you're grasping and there's nothing to hold on to. That's what becoming your authentic self feels like initially, because it's foreign to you. You've been used to living out of the egoic blindness for so long that when the blinders come off, or the layers come off, layer by layer, it takes time, right? And then you begin to see your spaceman suit for the nakedness that it is, and what do you have to hold on to? Well, everything, because everything is now, you're as big as the universe, you're as big as in oneness with God. And so now it becomes really adventurous and fun when you begin to find your authentic voice, your authentic self, when you begin to discover who you are. You don't have to find it, it's already there. In other words, it's being unveiled.
Yeah.
And it's painful in the unveiling sometimes, isn't it? Share with us what the pain has been for you. We call them ascension sickness or symptoms. Because you get oxygen deprivation when you're being carried up the mountain. See, it's no longer us climbing the mountain.
Yeah.
like some would teach.
That's what's
We're being
dying off.
carried, but there's still oxygen levels and oxygen deprivation that we have to breathe in the oxygen of God, of authenticity, so we can, wow, I can see clearly and breathe clearly now.
And that you have to alchemize too. There's a
Yes.
lot of alchemizing
Lots.
going on, right? Just like how you have to in the plane, and it's putting the air in there so you can breathe at a higher level, and that's what's going on. It's like your spirit's getting a whole new investing so that you can go to a higher level and be able to handle it. And boy, it's a work for your body, isn't it? Because your body has to go with you. And so it's going through all of its own upgrades. And some of you, God has been telling you, look, you got to get your health better. You got to start working out again, because this is your earth suit, and I need you to take care of it so it can handle the impact of what I've called you to do with your spirit man. So this earth suit is on your spirit man, remember, and we need it. We need it to be here, just like the astronaut needs the space suit to be in space. We need to honor and take care of this suit to be here. And so, anyway, but it's just, what a time to be alive right now, you know? And we just want to keep rolling out any kind of helpful tips and techniques and things God's been sharing with us to help you on the journey. We're all on this journey. And
really, it's
our own self-development processing, but it's also we're chosen to come because we have something to contribute to the great awakening. So
and even if we can be an example of embarrassment to you, I mean, because it doesn't matter.
We'll go through the wall first.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You come to the point where you get humiliated, and it's like, okay, all right, let's go through another one. I mean, because you realize the importance of seeing yourself in the third person, stepping back within yourself, laying back, and then watching it from like a third person view as to what the ego has done to our lives individually and as a whole.
The conversation.
It's the conversation. It's the wounded child that's going, hey, I want to be heard and loved and seen. And so when you realize that and you look at it and you go, oh, okay, well, let me help to be a healing modality for this rather than giving in to the addictive qualities and the addictive looping of the child screaming for help or attention within us. And so when you think about this from that perspective, then you can side in with the humiliating things rather than resist them. You know, meaning that when you get embarrassed in public or you get embarrassed by something that you said or did, oftentimes we want to cover it up by looking better than we really believe that, you know, is the situation going on. We want to cover it up, in other words. And anymore, I'm just like, okay, you know, yeah, you may be right. And instead of fighting it so much like I used to, believe me, I'm not perfect at this, but I think you begin to recognize it more, and you begin to invite and welcome those things more so, because you know the upgrade it gives you, you guys. You know that it's going to take another layer off, and then you're going to be able to get closer to that ooey gooey middle of the juiciness of this spirit authenticity that you really are designed and made of. You're designed out of. So we're all after the middle of the cinnamon roll, aren't we?
Yeah, we're a whole lot more flexible in the middle, aren't we?
We are.
That middle is so much more flexible than the outer core that's a bit crusty.
So much tastier, so much more flavorful. And when you look at it from a point of what God is actually doing, when you feel that He's silent, you know, how many of you felt like God has been silent for a while? You know, be honest about it. You can share in the comments. I can tell you that it has for us for a long while. However, we know that He's still speaking.
On certain things, right?
On certain things.
The things you really want to hear.
Yeah, like we can hear God for everybody else. It's that syndrome, right? We can hear God for other people.
Or daily things, you know.
But it's in one way He's silent, but in one way He's speaking very loudly. Mm-hmm. And it's in what we're sharing. It's in the, okay, well, wars aren't working anymore, guys. They just don't work. That's 3D embedded action and paradigm that causes people to stay in the egoic realm that doesn't serve either side very well, right? People die in war, and that's never a good thing.
Yeah.
And when there's wars all over the planet right now, this is why they're emerging, so that they can purge and cleanse out, so that we can move to and through 4D, the fourth density, and into 5D, the pure spirit of authenticity of who we are, and beyond, because we're multidimensional, multi-layered beings. And that is not New Age.
That's right.
We live in the New Age. Jesus was the New Age to the old system, guys.
Exactly.
So remember that.
New era. New era, getting free of the old error.
Purged from the old
error. Getting into the new era.
Yeah, old era, going to new era.
Deconstructing all the errors. And can we be open and flexible and real about that? You know, that we in the old...
Exactly.
Oh, we were getting so staunch, don't we? We get in religion land, we get so staunch in our absolute because we're needing safety and security, but we don't realize we settled on an error doctrine of some sort or a man-made good idea at the time. But did God tell us to do that? Or again, it's becoming awake and aware. This is what the Great Awakening is all about. It is starting at the very core, where we really assess the truths. And you guys, truth is like, well, how am I ever going to know the truth? Truth you feel. It resonates. That's how you know.
Wait a minute. The church tells us not to feel.
I know.
Are you a heretic, or?
Isn't that crazy, guys?
Oh, Lord.
Well, I'm sorry that God created that in you, and it's there for a reason to help kind of guide you.
Yeah, so feelings are very important. When we have emotional trauma fueled by ego, that's when it gets a little haywire. But feeling, when we feel our way with heart, we feel our way with spirit, navigate, allowing to be navigated through the waters of life,
and
the currents of life. That's what we're talking about. Feeling deeply.
Yeah.
And then when you feel it, then it alerts your entire body. You feel it in your body. If it's a direction or a path or he's saying something, love is saying something to you, whatever it may be, that's what we're talking about. Feeling our way. That way you know that something is true and real and just and true north for your life.
Right. And pulls you forward. There's a resonance pull of the spirit forward into a new truth, new to you, ancient, right, but new to us. And oftentimes it's our head that's stopping and blocking us, and we get right into logic and reasoning it out. And it's so crazy because, guys, remember, your mind, the brain, it's a library of your past experiences and your past knowledge, so it can't ever bring you into the new. So that's why we're all learning all the time how to stop the mind and step back and feel the spirit leading us forward into a new truth or into an expansion. It's the only way we're going to grow. Otherwise, we'll just, again, keep looping with what we know and keep clinging on to what everybody else says of this is the way it is, this is the way it's always been, try to shine, you know. We won't ever grow.
Or looping through what we do to our bodies. Guys, this is the honest to God truth. And I know some people don't want to hear about the health thing, but it's being pronounced right now for many reasons. You know, we have so much sickness going on in the earth, so many people that are incredibly overweight and out of shape. And myself included has been that way. I'm a little overweight. We've been working out every day, and we're doing what we can right now to keep this body in shape and also cleanse it. And here's the truth is that when we're clogged up and we have all these toxins in us,
blockages,
it blocks our lymphatic system and it blocks the glands that actually see into the spirit realm. And so if you're saying, why can't I see and hear God? It may be because of all the pizza that is stuffed inside of yourself. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be hard on this. It's just because I love pizza too. Learning to love it less, a lot less. Or just like the cauliflower stuff better, right? Just better alternatives. So what I'm saying is that we're looking at all areas and all dimensions of our life. Mind, spirit, soul, and body. All dimensions, because if we don't, we will, a lot of people run around and they say, well, I can't hear God. I can't sense him. I can't feel him, like Amy said.
So then they think they're being rejected by God.
Yeah.
And really,
it's
the chemicals in the food that's just messing your signals up and bogging you down with density.
Yeah, or all the Indian curry, there's too much curry.
No, don't be coming against the curry now. We love
I love it. So, you know, what we're saying is that, and we do that because we're addicted because of how we feel about ourselves. And so we turn to addictions. And really, it's a time of cleansing. It's a time of purging. It's a time of
seeing what's in there.
Seeing what's internally in there. And we're not talking about religious fasting. If you're religiously fasting, just stop it. Just stop it. Turn around and just say, I want to fast because, first of all, I want to.
Clearing.
I want to, and I'm inspired to. I'm taking inspired action, not just because somebody told me I need to go on another 40-day fast that I don't want to do. Right? Here comes the beginning of the year, 40-day fasts.
Right, or the day fast.
So don't do it if you don't feel it. If you're not inspired to do it, don't do it. Give yourself permission. God's not holding you to that.
Let God lead you on your own authentic fast. Like, what does He have His finger on? Maybe you got to fast, you know. And again, this is not a religious thing. Fasting, I mean, there's got to be another term to it, really. It's a clearing and a cleansing.
That's what it is. And it's very helpful.
You're removing the blockages. If you want flow to happen, you've got to remove the blockages and let God highlight them. That this is what's stopping your flow, you know, or you're hitting the terror barrier with fear, and this is why you can't overcome. So you just keep looping in the pool because you're too scared to jump and experience the unknown. And so when we allow that clearing and allow Him to, or just even lighten the load, you know, again, like the whole ship. When the ship is on a sandbar and it's stagnant, not going anywhere, what do you got to do? You got to lighten the load. And so, again, the whole sifting, the purging, it's whatever is in your life. Some of you, every area is being touched, right? You're having to cleanse your house, cleanse your body, cleanse relationships.
Oh, man.
Cleanse careers out. Everything's being touched on. Some of you, you're getting to have it a little bit more gentle and slower in progression. You know, some of us are like, Lord, get it all of me so I can get it done with. You know?
Yeah, hey,
pray for us.
Some of you have lost all income.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what that feels like.
Yeah, when
Trust
it's
me.
not even you.
Yeah,
You're like,
and
this is not me. Why is this happening?
Yeah, and what that is what we know so far is because all areas are being purged and cleansed so that we can have a free flow. It's to unleash the anchoring into the old way and old patterns of doing things in the 3D hard work, sweat, and toil area. Mm-hmm. And so if you've lost your job, if you've lost your income, this is a very good thing. Even though your body is kicking and screaming. Why? Because it's a setup for an alignment for the authentic you in order for the magnetism of heart coherence, mind, heart coherence, to draw it in magnetically.
Yeah.
And it may take a little bit of time for that to happen. And if we've built anything on 3D credit systems, then we have to look at that and say, okay, that's part of the old paradigm. Maybe God wants to give me things free and clear without time payments. Do we ever stop and think about that? But that's painful for a lot of us because we're used to getting time payments. We want it now. We want it now. Well, what about a place to live, John? Well, what about that? Is it bear chasing you right now? Is a lion chasing you right now? Is somebody chasing you down with their car trying to run you over? Are you literally listening to this on a phone, standing out in the rain because you have nowhere to lay your head? Well, chances are most people watching this don't. So it's our deception. It's a deception, but it's also our perception and our expectations that we place on God that says, okay, you didn't meet my expectations. You didn't put me in that dream house that I wanted. Now I'm stuck in this studio apartment.
Now I'm disappointed. Now I can't trust God because He didn't answer my prayers. So now I'm just broken expectations. I can't tell you how many times God has told me, you've got to when I'm stressing out and frustrated and feel like, why didn't you answer this, Lord? You know, and He's like, you got to let go of your expectations and judgments on how you think something should roll out or why you want something, and just really trust Him to do it. This all goes back to attachments, you guys. A lot of times our prayers don't, quote, get answered because we have such an attachment on it. If He is to answer that, it becomes our God, it becomes our idol, it becomes whatever. We hold on to it now that we have it. Now we really can't let go of it. It just becomes such a mess. Whereas if we can just I'm telling you, God is so good where if you just say,
Relax
Lord,
and release.
it'd be so nice if you could have this happen, or if you could have so-and-so call, or, but you release it with no attachment, because God says, delight yourself in him and he'll give you the desires of your heart, right? And so...
But you can't delight if you're still anchoring into resistance.
Survival. Mm-hmm.
If you're anchoring into resistance and attachment, there's no relaxation in that.
No.
There's no delight in that.
Yeah.
And so the delight of the Lord is light and free and effortless. So we would say, okay, it'd be nice to have that. But if I don't, okay, it's not going to devastate me.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to have that. And guess what? When we say it from that lightness, then chances are we get it.
Yeah, because there's
or
no
in
resistance.
a better form.
Right, because there's no resistance. And
That's right.
when we want it so bad, it's just, again, we're efforting. And then that leads to disappointment, right? Broken expectations. And I can't trust God now, so now I need to just go make it happen in my own strength.
Now I go eat my pizza.
Take care of myself, independent.
I go eat my pizza and go into my addictions, whatever they are. Binge watching movies and cramming my neck full of jerky. Or licorice. Or nuts or popcorn, whatever it may be, whatever your delight is.
Nearby. Yeah. So it's crazy, isn't it, you guys?
Lord.
Working with this earth suit, soul and spirit is something.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
we are gonna
So we wanted to keep this
sharing the journey with you.
Wanted to keep this sort of short because we have a longer call we wanted to invite you to. Some of you saw the little advertisement that says, "What is happening to me?" That's what it's about. What is happening to me? What's going on internally? What's going on right now around me? What's going on in the world? We're going to talk about it. So look at the Zoom call that's on our Facebook, please, and sign up for it. It's a free call, video call. We want the interaction. We want your questions. We want people to interact with us. That is next Sunday, December 10th, 4 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be 7 o'clock Eastern time. And then somewhere around midnight in London or England, somewhere around there, I think. But we want to invite you to come to that. We're going to be on there a couple of hours. And if you can't make the whole thing, that's fine. It'll be recorded. We want you to be live, though, because things are said live, and there's an impartation that happens energetically, spiritually, that is like nothing else. Because of where we're all at right now, we can help each other. We can speak into each other's lives. And we just want to help bring clarity from some of the journey. We've been silent for a while. We haven't been on social media a lot, but now it's time. We've been given the green light to come back out and on, and we feel like there's some things that are going to be shared and said and imparted that'll really help. So please be on that if you can, December 10th, again, next Sunday. And we know it's December, but if you can make it, great. If you're doing family things, then that's okay too. Just watch the recording. It'll be posted on our social media. Also, we want to invite you to our brand new creators portal that we're still developing, but you can go on and set up your profile. What it is it's called 18 Inches Down, and it's 18inchesdown.com. That's 18 inches and down spelled out. 18 inches down. Yeah, it symbolizes moving from the egoic head down to the heart-centeredness and living out of the heart and the spirit. And it's the creator's portal. What we're doing there is we've designed it so that you can go on and set up a profile, share your creativity, share your entrepreneurial business or your business, whatever it is. What we're trying to do there is move into more heart-centeredness than the egoic way of doing things. So it's called 18 Inches Down, the Heart-Centered Way.
Yeah, and it's for humanity as a whole.
It's for humanity as a whole.
It's like a public
platform. It's a public platform, but you can go on there and share your creative, whatever it is. Even if you haven't started it yet, just share your idea. And then you never know who's going to be on there to help you with your next step. What's great about this is be a bunch of creatives and entrepreneurs that are moving in heart-centeredness, that want to make the world a better place through love. And we're going to be interacting, networking, but also there's a chance to upgrade into the more private area group. And what that is it will have live calls in that group and our launch it calls where you'll have the opportunity with somebody in that group to be either funded for your next step or sourced in some way, which is really cool. We've done a couple of these in the past, and they really
you get
are
to share
amazing.
your passion and then let people know what you need for your next step. So
so it's free to sign up, to go to the portal, sign up, create your profile, and we're building that right now. We just launched it, so more and more people will be added as we go. But we wanted to do that because we're really passionate about championing and cheering on people in their gifts, callings, and talents and abilities. So we even want to have talent shows and all that down the road on there to really showcase different genres. And here's why. Because when we watch America's Got Talent or The Voice, it's kind of just one area, especially America's Got Talent. Okay, we've often said out loud while we're watching the show, we go, man, this isn't fair to the gymnasts.
How do you compare?
Being with the singers, okay? How do you compare? They're lumping them all together. So we want to have different genres there so that people can have their voice. And it'll be a fun thing. It'll be, there'll be prizes and things, but it'll be more of a showcasing of, say, look, if they can do it, I can do it kind of thing, It's not more about competition than it is an unveiling of your gifts, talents, and abilities.
So we have that in the lineup. And then we are also considering and working on with Paddles Up, designing a private group call where it is Q&A, where we can talk about some of these deeper things and just, share more there as well. So we're talking that over for doing a monthly thing there as well. So we shall see.
Lots coming up. Lots coming.
It's great to see you guys.
Yes.
And thanks for tuning in, listening. Leave your comments below because we miss you, miss hearing from you.
Yes, we do.
And so we're sending you lots of love. Have a great rest of your day.
Yes, and hopefully see you on the call next week, okay?
Yeah, take care.
All right. Love. Much love to you.
Bye.